once was lost, but now I am found. Was blind, but now I see. Oh, I can see it now. Oh, I can see the love in your eyes. Laying yourself down, raising up the broken to life. How is everybody doing? What's going on, everyone? Agent Mahina here, aka your daily physique. I hope you're having an amazing day. If this is your first time joining me, I'm a lawyer, but at the same time, I'm a bodybuilder. I want to be super transparent with you. I myself as an individual, I'm so broken. But I'm so thankful that I have a God that has blessed me with the ability to exercise my consciousness, to decide and to choose the type of life that I want to live. I challenge you to exercise your ability to choose. Choose the type of life that you want to live. Yes, we're all broken, but by the grace of God, you and I could choose to decide to live the best life ever. I'm so thankful for that. So today is gonna be a very straightforward day. I'm gonna go ahead and of course start bar prep. And unfortunately, I won't be working out today because today is my rest day. And so let's go ahead and get straight to it. As you can see here, I have exactly 104 days until the California bar examination. Alright everyone, in reviewing torts, I thought I'd share something with you that you might find interesting. So when it comes to torts, one of the main topics is negligence. The topic of negligence is broken into three different parts. You have intentional torts, which is assault, battery, you're intentionally trying to inflict harm. You have negligence, which is basically an individual acting not necessarily intending to cause a harm, but that individual's actions result in a harm. And then you have strict liability. The topic, the portion of negligence that I'm gonna be focusing on is negligence, the actions of a person not intending to harm an individual, but such actions ultimately result in some type of harm. So let's go ahead and pose a hypothetical. Say for example, you're doing some yard work at home. You're raking all the leaves and you're creating a pile. Now, with this pile of leaves, you get a brilliant idea. You choose to burn these leaves in order to get rid of them. What better way, right? As you light these leaves on fire, a wind gusses by and these leaves blow on top of a neighboring house's roof, causing a fire. Incidentally, a driver on the road sees the burning roof and gets out of the car in order to run to the neighbor's house to warn the neighbor, hey, your roof is on fire. And getting out of the car, the driver is struck by an emergency vehicle. The legal issue is, can you as the individual that caused the fire, can you be held liable for the driver's injuries? Although the injuries were caused by a third party, in this scenario, an emergency vehicle. So the answer to that question is yes, you can be held liable for the injuries caused to the driver, although it was caused by a third party, in this case, the emergency vehicle. The reason why you would be held liable for negligence is that it's foreseeable that in burning your leaves and in the leaves flying on top of your neighbor's house, it's foreseeable that someone would attempt to warn that neighbor that, hey, your roof is on fire. It's foreseeable that emergency vehicles would respond to such an event, and it's foreseeable that the driver's injuries could be caused. So if you ever hypothetically choose to light leaves, be careful. Now that I'm done with torts, I'm gonna go ahead and run through real property and I'll get back to you. Alright everyone, in reviewing real property, I thought I'd share something with you that you might find interesting. In property law, you have this rule called adverse possession. Basically what adverse possession is if you own land, what adverse possession is, hypothetically speaking, if you own land, say for example a farm, and another person, say your neighbor, begins to use part of your land as their own. They do it openly, they do it notoriously, which means that you ask them not to use it, and they continue that use for a certain prolonged period of time. In each jurisdiction, the amount of time that adverse possession has to be in effect differs. In California, the period of time the neighbor has to be adversely using your land is 5 years. Say for hypothetical reasons, you own a farm. Next to you is a neighbor that herds cattle. It's important to note that you use this farm to raise livestock, chickens, pigs, goats. You notice that your neighbor is starting to herd their cattle on your land. You tell this neighbor, please stop using my land to herd your cattle. But you don't do anything else about it. In fact, your farm isn't even fenced off, so your neighbor has the opportunity to use your land freely, openly. You've told this neighbor, hey, don't use my land. You see that your neighbor is using your land, but you're not doing anything else about it. You're not taking additional steps. This neighbor does what that neighbor does for 5 years. The legal issue is, does that neighbor now have legal grounds to claim title to that portion of your land in which the neighbor was using? Watch on to find out the answer to this question. The answer to that question is yes. Your neighbor now has a legal right to that portion of property that the neighbor was using to herd the cattle. The reason is because the individual, the neighbor, was doing it openly. The neighbor continued to do so after you told them to stop, and the neighbor did it for 5 years plus. That neighbor now has legal grounds to claim title and legal ownership to that portion of your property. Crazy, right? I hope you had an amazing time hanging out with me for the day, and I hope you learned something new. I am so excited to take all of you along with me on this journey to pass the California bar examination. If you're curious as to what the process looks like, please make sure you hit the like and subscribe button so we don't miss you on any future videos. But you know what time it is. It's time to get up off your phone. It's time to get up off your bed. And it's time to ride.